What is going on, guys? Shimo Plays here, and today I'm bringing you guys a video in which I'm going to be telling you guys another story that involves another accident. So, in this story I'm going to be talking about the first time I almost cracked my head open. I've never gotten stitches, I've never gotten staples, or any of that kind of surgery to close up any wounds. And this was probably one of the closest that has ever happened to me. And so, yeah, I'm going to be sharing this story with you guys. And also, in the background here, you're going to be watching some Warframe gameplay. Personally, if you have a PS4, and I recommend you go and you download this game. It is an amazing shooter. I used to not really be a fan of third-person shooters, but this game definitely opened my eyes. It is free to play. It is just amazing. The graphics and the story is amazing. It's so fast-paced and fun to play with your friends, and I recommend trying it out. Anyways, let's get on to the story. So, while I was in 6th grade, so last year, during the summer, I was invited by my friend and his family to go on a camping trip with them. Now, while we were at the camping trip, we were about midweek, because we stayed there for about a week, so I think somewhere during the middle of the week, and what we do is, like, every single day, we would just go out and, like, I don't know, go river rafting, except in, like, inner tubes and all that stuff, but this day, we decided to go out to... Alright, we decided... Sorry, my Skype closed for some reason. We decided to go out to, a natural rock slide that was about an hour away from our camp. Anyway, so, we went out there, and I recommend you guys looking up natural rock slides. They're like, or even going to one. They're really awesome. But the problem with ours is that it was coming from a mountain. I'm not gonna say the mountain because it gives away my perfect location. It gives away, the mountain, the water would melt from that mountain, and it's a pretty famous mountain. And what happened is the water would come down, and it would make this big natural rock slide, and it sort of went almost across, like, for miles across the state. And what happened was we found a rock slide that was part of that. Now, if any of you guys have ever been camping and went on a natural rock slide or some sort of like that, the water is insanely cold. Now, if you've ever gone into a pool before, the first time you get in, it's extremely cold. And what happens is you get out and you jump back in, and it warms up little by little, and then sooner or later you get comfortable with it, and it feels like you're in regular water. Now, with this, it was definitely not the case. So, we went down, there was the slide that we were going down, it was like it was made of rock, and, what happened was, you would go down, and there was a lot of bugs. That's something I really remember. There were a lot of bugs. Anyways, now, whenever you went down, it was about 30 feet. You would slide down about 30 to 50 feet, I think, about right there. Anyways, so, yeah, it was pretty long, and the water was extremely cold, and at this point, my friends' brothers were going, and they were going in and out and everything like that. I was like, I don't know if I should go. This is extremely cold. I really don't know. But we walked from, like, because it took us like a long time, like probably like 20 minutes to get there from walking 20 minutes, because we had to take this dirt trail. There were a lot of bugs. It smelled bad, and it was like felt like it was 120 degrees outside, and the drive was like an hour long. So I had to do this because I'm like, this is the only chance I'm ever gonna get on this day. We're not gonna come back here. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So what happened was I went onto the slide, and I was like, oh, this is really cold, you know, that weird feeling you get, that shudder feeling. And then I was like, I sat down, and I'm like, am I gonna go? And then I saw his brother coming up, and I was like, oh, I'll just let him go. What happens is I sit up, and I slip. Completely slip, and flip right on the back of my head. Boom! We're in the middle of, like, nowhere. Nowhere! Like, the next town that we went to was, like 45 minutes away. And I had just slipped and collided my head with the ground. Now, at this point, I felt like dizzy and like I was gonna go like unconscious or something like that. But what happened was, I was like, oh my gosh, I checked my head, I'm like, oh gosh, I hit my headphones. I was like, oh my gosh, am I bleeding? And like, I wasn't bleeding, but I felt like a big bump on the back. I'm like, oh gosh, this isn't good. And with that, I thought like it was gonna like swell up, and I was gonna have like major headaches for the rest of the time, and for the rest of the summer, on the summer camp. And I was like, okay, this is not a good thing. And that was probably the closest I've ever gone to. Like, I mean, it was like a jagged rock, because it sort of like slid down and dipped into the water, and it was like extremely sharp on the back of my head. And I'm extremely lucky that nothing was cut open. Also, the gameplay will replay if I go overboard. Anyways, so with that, it was extremely painful, and there was no ice or anything. I just had to deal with it. My head was spinning, it was hurting like crazy, and I personally think that was the closest time I've ever gotten to cracking my head open. If you guys have any stories about cracking your head open, getting stitches, or some sort of thing like that, then go ahead and comment it down below. I will definitely read it, because I love to read and reply to your guys' comments. Anyways, after that, I sort of man up. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go on this water slide, and there was a pond at the bottom of the water slide that was like, it felt like it went down for like 50 feet, and it was extremely cold. Like, it was 10 times colder than the slide itself and the water itself. I went on it like 6 times. It did not warm up a single degree at all. It was completely cold. Anyways, yes, and then we went back, and I didn't have any head problems or anything like that, but that was definitely the closest I've ever gotten to cracking my head open. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, that'd be awesome. We can go for 10 likes this video. That would be amazing. Make sure you guys share this with your friends, comment down below your stories, and subscribe if you like my content. Gmo Plays, and I am out. Peace.